Welcome to the Packer Mentality Podcast. I'm here to keep you informed and offer insights into all things Packers, from on-field action to off-field developments. Big shout out to everyone listening. Your support is what keeps this channel growing. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, leave a comment, and connect with me on social media at Packer Mentality. This podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts. One quick note. I want to thank all of you for sticking around. I apologize for missing last week. I had audio issues with my recordings. You may have noticed it if you're watching on YouTube, that things were not syncing up at all. I believe I've got the right equipment and everything is taken care of. So let's move on. The 1-1 Packers will travel to Tennessee to take on the 0-2 Titans on Sunday. The Packers come off a 16-10 win against the Colts, while the Titans lost to the Jets 24-17. As far as injuries go, the Titans are pretty healthy. Only linebacker Luke Gifford did not practice on Thursday with a back injury. Running back Tajay Spears has been limited with an ankle injury. The Packers have two players that haven't practiced at all so far this week: offensive lineman Jordan Morgan and cornerback Carrington Valentine. Limited so far in practice. Person we've all been anxious to hear his status. Jordan Love is practicing, but he does have a brace on his knee, and he's limited. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Kenny Clark, limited. Josh Jacobs, Josh Myers, Jaden Reed, Zach Tom, and Rasheed Walker all limited in practice so far this week. Now, what do we need to see on Sunday for the Packers to come away with a win? When the Packers are on offense, they're going to face a Tennessee defense that looks pretty solid when you look at the numbers, but the numbers are a little skewed because they played the Bears in Week 1, and the Bears offense didn't show up. Bears defense won that game for them. But the Titans defense did hold up pretty well against the Jets, even though they lost. The strength for the Titans on defense is their interior defensive line. Jeffrey Simmons is a beast. Devondre Sweat also really good on the inside. But they do not have great pass rushers. Their secondary is, I think, just okay. But there's nobody back there that should scare the Packers. There isn't anyone you need to avoid when you're throwing the ball. The big question for the Packers is going to be, who is playing quarterback this week? Jordan Love, mentioned earlier, limited, and that has been repeated a lot by Coach Matt LaFleur and anyone else on the Packers staff who was asked about it Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know if Jordan's going to play, and apparently nobody else outside of the Packers organization knows either. We're all going to have to just wait and see, and probably not going to know until Sunday morning. If Jordan does play, I expect him to try to get the ball out quickly so he's not taking hits. Definitely no planned quarterback runs. Expect to still see a lot of Josh Jacobs, but probably not as much as last week. I don't think they're going to run the ball 50 times. Be nice if they could get away with it, but not planning on it. We do need another great game plan by Matt LaFleur, especially if Love is still sidelined. Last Sunday against the Colts, Malik Willis was great, considering the circumstances he was under. He had to absorb the offense in a very short period of time, and he executed the game plan and that offense very well. Didn't see any obvious flubs. He threw the ball well, got rid of it quickly, got rid of it on time, and he protected the ball. Did not put the ball in jeopardy at all during the game. It helped that Matt LaFleur put together an offensive game plan masterpiece. And because of the way the game went, I don't think LaFleur showed everything he had ready for the game. He had the lead, and the defense was playing really well. Could it be that he held back maybe on some play action and some bootlegs that he put in for Malik Willis? We'll see. If Willis plays, we could and should see more of that playbook, and with another week of practice for Willis, he should be a little bit better. I would be surprised if the Titans defense allows the Packers to run the ball like they did last week. I expect them to pack the box, force Malik Willis to throw the ball. They know him better than anyone. They drafted him. Up until 3 weeks ago, he was in their camp. If they can find a way to use their knowledge to their advantage, they're going to. Regardless of who is playing quarterback, I do expect to see a lot of Jaden Reed. He's been absolutely spectacular so far this season, and Matt LaFleur has found a lot of creative ways to get him the ball. However, I do expect to see more of Christian Watson. He's been terrific teammate, blocking and helping downfield for his teammates, but he is too big a weapon to not get the ball in his hands. Packers' biggest weakness, the key problem they must overcome, is themselves. Through 2 weeks, they have been beating themselves, especially early. This team has got to play better to start games. Way too many mistakes costing them early points in both games so far. In the Eagles game, very first drive, too many men on the field nullified a touchdown. Then, when they were going for it on fourth down later in the drive, they got called for a false start and forced a punt. Second drive, holding call puts them in a second and long, and they had to settle for a field goal. Third drive, another holding penalty puts them in a first and long and had to settle for a field goal on that drive as well. In the Colts game, first drive, first and ineligible man downfield, and then a holding penalty forced them to settle for a field goal. On the third drive of that game, Josh Jacobs fumbles the ball on the goal line. That is 26 points in 2 games just on the first 3 drives alone. So, limiting the early mistakes, be focused, should allow the offense to start fast and grab an early lead. Force the Titans to play from behind. Now, when the Packers defense is on the field versus the Titans offense, it's going to be about forcing mistakes by Will Levis. He's a young quarterback, still learning the game, and he is not getting much help from his offensive line. He's been sacked 7 times already this season. The right side of their offensive line is the culprit. They've been terrible so far with their pass blocking. We haven't seen the Packers defense really attack the quarterback so far this season. They've mainly focused on keeping Hurts and Richardson in the pocket the last couple weeks. They don't have to worry about a dangerously mobile quarterback this week. Doesn't mean that Will Levis is a statue back there, but he is not the threat that those 2 guys were. Jeff Hafley should have an aggressive game plan, and the pass rush for the Packers should look a lot different on Sunday. Rashan Gary is going to be the biggest benefactor. He's got a really nice matchup against a right tackle that is really struggling. I expect Rashan to have a big day. Will Levis does have some weapons. At wide receiver, he's got Calvin Ridley, who was a 1,000-yard receiver last year for the Jaguars. He's got DeAndre Hopkins. He's a former All-Pro. Might be slowing down a little bit. At running back, he's got Tony Pollard. Remember him from the Cowboys. He had some nice seasons in Dallas. He can also catch the ball out of the backfield. But this game feels like turnovers are going to play a big part. The Titans lead the league in giveaways with 5. The Packers lead the league in takeaways with 6, playing into strengths and weaknesses on both sides. Levis has thrown 3 picks in 2 games, and the Packers lead the league in interceptions with 5. All that sounds simple. Don't make mistakes. Get your playmakers the ball. Grab the lead on offense. Defense just needs to harass a young quarterback into making mistakes and win the turnover battle. But we still have to play the game. Can the Packers do it and come away with a road win? I think they can. and we're going to find out on Sunday. I will keep you updated on any further news about Jordan Love, whether he's going to play on Sunday or not, and anyone else. Just follow me on X. I'll be back after the game on Sunday with my gut reaction. Look for that late Sunday or early Monday morning. Until then, enjoy the game, enjoy your weekend, and go Pack Go.